Hey, what's going on, world? You know who it is, Zeus Cruz of Olympian Multimedia, and this is our initial segment of our new video series, Get Things Done. Today, we're going to have our concentration on writing, in particularly trying to come up with some innovative tips and techniques we're going to provide so that you can put together your poetry project. So let's get started. As you can see here, this is my display of 8 books that I'm happy to say I've been able, had the opportunity to publish that deal with the realms of short stories and poetry. So here I'm trying to pass it forward to you viewers, to provide some tips and some techniques to help you with your writing project, especially if you're aspiring to be a poet and a published author. So the first step will be just discovering what type of writer you want to be. As mentioned before, poetry is pretty much the same as any medium you get involved with. There's so much freedom and flexibility within it. But in order for the message that you're trying to convey to be brought to life within your writing so that the reader can get an understanding, you definitely have to figure out within yourself what type of writer you specifically want to be. Do you want to base a lot of your poetry on personal experiences? Do you want to incorporate maybe a little bit of fiction, maybe a little bit of suspense, some other attributes, maybe incorporate some elements of short story mixed in, make sort of like a hybrid type of writing? You might want to do your writing that's specifically for like spoken word if you plan on doing a lot of performance with your poetry, and that includes poetry in motion. You might want to write it in a way where it's almost like a screenwrite, where like if you're going to have multiple people performing your work. So you got to get that idea first and foremost, specifically on what type of writer you want to be. The second part is developing a format in which you're going to be able to write. I'll give you a quick little look at what I do. As you can see here, I know it probably looks like a lot of gibberish and chicken scratch. But this is how I get started with my writing projects and putting together poems. I literally just start with words and phrases. Anything that I come across in my readings or anything that I actually see maybe on television, I might be looking at a quick video on YouTube or some other type of content involving vernacular. I kind of pay attention to the wording. I come across a word or a phrase that I'm not familiar with. I go ahead and write it down. I do my research, get a better understanding of it. You might want to make a dictionary and a thesaurus your best friends as well, especially if you come across something that you don't have quite the meaning of. But from here, this is kind of like my blueprint, a puzzle that's not put together just yet. I kind of start piecing these things together and kind of start developing my concept, start developing my theme, start developing a title for my poem. And then from there, like I said, just piece it together and start outlining, formatting on exactly what my thoughts are going to be for that particular stanza. This may not work for you. You might want to work with a working title and then work off of there and let that be your foundation. But you never want to go into a writing project and feel like you're just going to kind of free form it, so to speak, and just kind of just put some things together. Because sometimes, like I said, the message you're trying to convey, it kind of gets incoherent. And then most importantly, whoever reads your work, your message is going to get lost in them. And they're not really going to appreciate your work. So you might want to have some type of structure when it comes to your formatting. Definitely start free form and just be free and just write your thoughts down, in this case like I did. It may not always have to be complete thoughts. It could be like you see here, just words and phrases, and then you can build off of it. The last thing when it comes to writing is be honest with yourself. Be true to yourself. At the end of the day, not everybody's going to like what you write. So in the end, you got to be proud of what you wrote. And whatever message that you are trying to convey in your writing, that you get that message across. You get that point across to your readers. You're not going to be able to please everyone. But also, too, just kind of make it simple for yourself. You know, a great way of doing it, too, is just starting a journal and just kind of just relaying your personal thoughts on anything. That's the beauty of writing, especially when it comes to poetry. You literally can write about anything on any subject that's dear to you. You know what I mean? Just make it real to yourself. The more you convey yourself through your writing and the more honest you are in your writing, the more it's going to encapsulate the minds of your readers a lot more. As you can see here, I do have some working titles to it, but eventually these are just thoughts that I wrote down that eventually I'm going to turn into a poem. You know what I mean? And it's just based off my experiences. I think, in my personal opinion, your best writing comes from what you personally experience and not really so much basing it on other people. So, these are my quick tips and techniques that I'm offering that hopefully can help you as the viewers and those who are aspiring to be poets. Hopefully, you'll be able to manifest your ideas and, you know, bring your ideas to life through your writing. So again, this is another segment provided by Olympian Multimedia entitled Get Things Done. I'm your host, Zeus Cruz. Till next time.